All right, today we're tackling a massive question. Can AI actually predict survival for patients with oral cancer better than the methods we've been using for decades? We're looking at a groundbreaking study here. And the answer? Well, it could completely change how we think about cancer care.
So, to really get why this matters, you have to understand the reality for patients with something called oral squamous cell carcinoma, or OSCC. It's the most common oral cancer in the world. And for those patients, the 5-year survival rate, it's a coin flip, just about 50%.
And for decades, that's what doctors had been up against. Trying to predict who falls on which side of that 50-50 line has been, well, it's been like trying to guess a coin toss. It's been an incredibly frustrating and inexact science.
But that's exactly where this new research comes in. It asks a simple but powerful question. What if we could do better than a coin toss? What if we could build a tool that gives us a much clearer view, a more personalized look at what the future holds for a patient?
Okay, so to really appreciate just how big a leap this is, we've got to first understand the old way of doing things. What's the current method, and why have these predictions always been so darn difficult?
Well, for a very long time, the global standard has been something called the TNM staging system. Think of it as the foundational tool doctors use to sort patients into different risk groups, all based on the physical traits of their cancer.
The way it works is actually pretty straightforward. The T stands for the size of the tumor. The N is for whether it's spread to nearby lymph nodes, and the M is for metastasis. Has it spread to distant parts of the body? Simple, right? But, and this is a big but, it turns out it might be a little too simple.
Because the real story here, the information gap is all about what TNM misses. It leaves out so much crucial personal stuff, like the patient's age, their lifestyle, smoking, alcohol use. It doesn't look at key data from PET scans, or things like how deep the tumor is, or even what happens if the cancer comes back. It's like it sees the tumor, but it totally misses the person attached to it.
And that massive information gap? Well, that's precisely what this new research is all about. The whole idea was to use AI to fill in those blanks and create a much more complete picture.
So how'd they do it? The researchers took a totally different path. They started by gathering records from over 1,000 patients. But here's the key. Instead of just feeding the system T, N, and M, they gave the AI dozens and dozens of variables. We're talking everything from lifestyle factors and age to super specific lab results. Then they trained a special kind of AI, a deep neural network, to just sift through all that messy, complex data and find the hidden patterns.
And the goal here was really ambitious, but also crystal clear. To build a model that finally sees the whole patient, not just their tumor stage. To get away from those broad categories and create a prediction that's truly personal.
Okay, so they built the model, they trained it on all this rich, complex data. But the million-dollar question is, did it actually work? Let's take a look at what happened when they put it to the test, head-to-head with the old-school methods.
And wow, just look at the results. What you're seeing here is a score for prediction accuracy. It's called an AUC score. The closer to 1.0, the better. And the AI model? It scored an incredible 0.922. Now look at the traditional models. They're hovering around 0.6. I mean, this isn't just a small improvement. This is a completely different universe of accuracy.
And it wasn't a fluke. When you look at another key measurement, the story is exactly the same. The AI model hits a score of 0.888 here, while the older methods are, again, just way behind. So this really confirms it. The AI isn't just a little better in one specific area, it's just fundamentally more accurate across the board.
This is probably the best way to see the difference. That solid black line on both charts, that's what actually happened, the real-world data. Now, look at the image on the left. See how the AI's prediction line is practically hugging the real-world line? It's almost a perfect match. Now look to the right. That's one of the older models. It's way off. This shows the AI isn't just making a wild guess. It is incredibly well calibrated to reality.
So, this level of accuracy is just mind-blowing. But it naturally leads to the next big question. How? How is the AI pulling this off? What exactly did it learn from all that data we fed it?
One of the coolest things about this particular AI is that it's not a black box. A lot of AIs give you an answer, but they can't tell you how they got it. This one is different. It can actually pull back the curtain and show us its work. It tells us exactly which factors it thought were the most important.
And this right here, this is the AI showing its work. It's called a feature importance chart, and it's basically a ranked list of all the different variables it looked at, from most important at the top to least important at the bottom. So looking at this, what do you think the single biggest predictor was?
And the answer is time to recurrence. By a long shot, the most powerful thing the AI looked at was how long it took for the cancer to come back, if it came back at all. But look what else is high on the list. All those things the old system ignores. A patient's history with alcohol, the results from their PET scan, the depth of the tumor, all things that turned out to be super important.
So let's put it all together. The AI is way more accurate, and it's not a black box. It's telling us why. So what does this actually mean? What's the real-world impact for doctors and patients?
Well, it's a huge shift in thinking. For so long, the approach has been to put patients into these big general buckets, kind of a one-size-fits-most approach to treatment. But now, this tool lets doctors create a highly specific, individualized profile for each person, and that opens the door to truly personalized treatment plans.
And the impact on patient care is just massive. Think about it. You can give patients much more accurate information. You can empower doctors to tailor treatment specifically to that person's risk. It leads to better, clearer conversations between doctors and patients. It's just a whole new tool in the toolbox for managing a really complex disease.
Look, this is an absolutely massive step forward for oral cancer care. But it also gets you thinking, right? If AI can get this good at predicting the future for one specific cancer, what else can it do? What other medical certainties are about to be completely overturned?